Hey, good evening, guys. It's me, Jappe. How are you doing? I hope you're having a great time wherever you are at this moment. This evening, we are going to talk about questions. Now, questions is how we most of the time start our conversations, right? Just like I did now. Hey, how are you? So whenever I ask a question, there is something I want to know. And most of the times I assume there will be an answer, right? Questions is how we are born. We are born with questions. So we think to ourselves, why is something the way it is? Why are we doing things in this way? I would like to share with you a video that asks some questions that no one knows the answer to. Okay, so those are some weird questions, right? Those are questions we do not know the answer to. For example, as a game, let's imagine that you are a parent, or maybe you are right now. And if your child asks you a lot of difficult questions, here are some questions and try to answer them. 1. Why are pizza boxes square like this when the pizza is round? Why is that? Personally, I guess it's only because if the boxes are square, it's easier to pile them up. I think that containers are square, so probably they fit better in containers. But yeah, indeed, like, why are they not round if they can just be round? Second question. I haven't seen any answers yet, so please do. Second question. Does the president have to pay taxes? That's a good question. And honestly, I cannot say if I know or if I don't know. I would assume that he still pays taxes, but I also assume that he won't notice it that much, when it comes off of his paycheck. What do you guys think? Does the president have to pay taxes or not? Second one, the third one, sorry, very sweet question. Why do donuts have holes? And that's a question I always thought about my entire life. Whenever I ate a donut, I loved it because it was super practical. I could just hold it like this, could eat everything up. But is there a need for the hole? I don't know. Maybe there is. Next one. Why is the sea salty? Salty is this taste we get when we either eat literal salt or when we are swimming in the sea and we taste a little bit of the water. And in my experience, it's not, if it's too much, it's not a really nice experience, you know? But indeed, why is it salt? Why is there a need for it to be salty? I'm sure there's a scientist, someone who actually studied this, that knows the right answer. But I have to be honest, I don't. Next one. How does Santa Claus get down the chimney? Well, they told me a lot of different things about this question. There was one that he became very small. But then how does he do that? I mean, he's not a small guy. So could we say it's a little bit of Christmas magic? Sure, my imagination tells me, but but somewhere my adult brain says no, it's not really possible. Can I ask someone from ChatClass to check why I don't see the comments of the students? Thank you so much. Okay. I'm really looking forward to read your comments, guys, because I really want to know what you're thinking, what your answers are. I want to see if there are any interesting or intriguing answers and whether they're funny or very serious. But for some reason at this moment, I'm not able to read them. So I'm sorry for that. Okay. Let's look now, because I'll get your answers eventually. But for now, let's look at something differently. When we have questions, there are many kinds of questions. For example, we have direct questions and we have indirect questions. A direct question is very straightforward. It keeps the sentences short and it asks specifically what is needed. An indirect question uses a more polite form of asking the same question. For example, where can I find the nearest post office? So the sentence we're using for this question is, where can I find? Very straightforward. The second question, the indirect question, is, can you tell me where I can find the nearest post office? So let's look at those two questions. Where, first we ask for the location. Can I, so me, the person, find, I'm looking for something. Where can I find the nearest post office? If I ask you this is straightforward. It gives you all the information that is needed, right? Now, if we look at our indirect question, we say, can you tell me? So first, it's a polite version. I ask a person, maybe I'll say, excuse me, can you, the person, tell me where I can find? Notice that we have changed the sentence from where can I find to where I can find. Can you tell me where? Can you tell me where, in which location? I, the person, can find where I can retrieve or where I can find the place, the nearest post office. Let's go through it again. Where can I find the nearest post office? The other one is, can you tell me where I can find the nearest post office? Two very different kinds of way to ask the same question. Oh, hey guys, they just notified me. I just need to check in with our ChatClass support. And ask some questions. I'm right back. Okay. Okay, just checked and everything's fine. But thanks for the patience, guys. Really appreciate it. So where were we? We were looking at direct versus indirect questions. A direct question being a question in which I go straight to the point and I ask what I need for. The other one, the indirect question, is a more polite form of asking the same question. So it's more civilized, we could say. We take a bit more time. We find a polite way, for example, if we need to talk to our boss, or if we want to talk to someone we care about, or if we want to talk, or we want to ask a question to someone we do not know. We just went through the two examples. Where can I find the nearest post office? Where location can I, the person, find, retrieve the nearest post office? The other sentence was, can you tell me where I can find the nearest office? So the first sentence we put in front of our first sentence is, can you tell me? We do not necessarily need this part of the sentence to make ourselves clear, but it's a more polite way. So we ask, can you tell me where I can find the nearest, the most close, the closest post office? Okay, let's look at another example. Do you want to go to the cinema tonight? Let's break this one down. Do you, the person, want to go somewhere to the cinema tonight, where they play movies? Okay. The other version, I wonder if you want to go to the cinema tonight. Let's look at this a bit closer. This is different than, for example, can you tell me? I wonder. Wondering is, you could call it a little bit like dreaming, but it's not the same. Wonder is when you're carrying a question and you're wondering about it. You know, you're looking at it, you're experiencing it, and then you come back from it. So, I wonder if you want to go with me to the cinema tonight. So instead of asking straightforward, do you want to go? When we say, I wonder if you want to go, we hold back a little bit. We take a little bit more time. Okay. There are many ways to start sentences like this. So We will go through a few, and feel free to write at least 3 sentences with different openings. Okay, for example, we have I wonder. So I wonder if we can go to the cinema tonight. Can you tell me? Can you tell me where the police office is? Do you know? Do you know where I have to go in order to find the station? Let me know. So let me, the person, let me know. It means like inform me, let me know if that was a really good book, if you really enjoyed that book. I was wondering. So again, like we saw before, but just put in a different way. I was wondering if we could go for a drink tonight. I will give again another example. I could also say, do you want to go for a drink tonight? Okay. Explain. Explain to me why you don't want to go to that restaurant. The other side of it would be, why don't you want to go to that restaurant? Tell me. Tell me, meaning explain to me. Tell me if you want to go to that party tonight. Explain to me if you want to go to that party tonight. I'm not sure if I want to stay at home now. I'm not sure if I want to stay at home tonight. I could also say, I don't want to stay at home tonight. However, this is, as we remembered, this is the indirect question. Please tell me. Please tell me how I can be of help to you. So this is a very polite way of asking a person to explain something to you. Please tell me how I can be of help to you. Please tell me how you're feeling. Please tell me how this is for you. This is really checking in with the person on how they are doing. I would like to know. I would like to know if you have time to go and watch that movie with me. This is an inquiry. I would like to know if you would want to go and watch that movie with me. Could you tell me? Could you tell me how... Sorry, just need to look something up. Could you tell me how I can get to town as fast as possible? Could you tell me how I can get to town as fast as possible? Do you have any idea? This is, in a way, we use this in a quite straightforward way, actually. Do you have any idea where I have been? Do you have any idea how much work this was? Do you have any idea? So we ask from the person if he actually really understands. Do you have any idea? However, underlying, there's the bit of the feeling that we, as the person who say this, don't really have the feeling that they fully understand. So because of that, a lot of times we say, do you have any idea? Do you have any idea how long it took me to find this? Or how long? Same way. Okay. Now, if we look at questions, Let's think again about our unanswerable questions. For example, why do donuts have holes? Why is the sea salty? Does the president have to pay taxes? Yes or no? Okay. Something I like to think about is that at some point in our history, things that we understand today were huge questions. For example, in the Middle Ages, not everyone was sure that the world was round. There was a lot of discussion. Is the world round or is it flat? And for a long time, there was the logic idea of, well, look around you. Everything is flat, so the earth is flat. So if someone would have said at that time, why is the earth flat? At that moment, there was no answer to that question. The highest scientists didn't really have an answer to give to their societies and to say, like, well, it's flat because. So now we don't think about this anymore. Everyone knows it's round, everyone knows it's a globe, so we don't really think about that. On the other side, we can also think about our impossible questions and ask ourselves, when will there be an answer? Because maybe there's no answer now, but it doesn't mean there won't be an answer in the future. And I find this really, really hopeful. Just this idea that something we think is impossible now might be possible in the future. Who knows? Now, I want to ask you guys, please write down at least 3 questions that cannot be answered. I know there are thousands of options, there are a lot of possibilities, there are a lot of questions that can be asked. I would like to give my questions so you can get a taste. I wondered, like, do fish know that they are in water? I don't know. First of all, obviously, because we're not fish, but I'm also just wondering, what if you would be a fish? Are you aware that you're in water, or are you only aware a few times, or are you aware full time? Makes me think a little bit of air. Are we aware that we are surrounded by air, or that we are breathing, or are we only half aware? The other question I had is, if there are 2 hands and they clap, then which hand made the sound? I don't really know. Was it my left hand, my right hand that made the sound? Were it the 2 hands clapping together? Was it the air that made the sound? I don't know. Okay, and my last question that I found was, why is the moon white? Why is it white? I mean, I love it. I love the moon. I love seeing it at night. Love seeing how shining it is and how white. But I'm just curious. Why is it white? I mean, it could have been blue, could have been green, could have been a lot of different colors. So those are the few questions that I had. Let's look again at your answers. I hope that I can see them now. Let's see. I don't see them still. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. But I'm sure that The questions are going to be super interesting. I'm going to be happy once I can read them again, and I will come back to you guys so we can talk about it more. So in this class, mainly I wanted to look at questions because they really create the world around us. Everything we see around us was once a question. Someone who sat down and wondered, how can this be created? How can this be made? A lot of times, questions also came up because they were needed. For example, because there was a problem, something that had to be solved. For example, same thing now. If we look at the coronavirus, we can ask ourselves, what needs to be done? Which medicine needs to be created? Which was a question that was not there, for example, a year ago. So in a way, it's quite nice to see that, no matter how developed we will be, no matter how many new inventions we will have, there will always be questions. And some of them will not be answered. And in a way, I think that's also fun. I think it's also fine that some questions aren't answered. Because questions that are not answered, they keep things open and they keep us aware. They really invite us to find things out. It's a little bit like a magic trick. If you see the magic trick, there's so many questions that come up, right? You wonder and you think, how does he do it? What's the trick? What's the secret? And we want to find out. But sometimes there are some questions that we don't really want to know the answer to. Why? Because there's a certain magic about them and we don't want to break it. So let's go through it one more time. I hope you guys found a lot of, impossible questions. Let's look at a few more. Again, if you would be a parent and you have your little one who comes with all the questions, let's look at a few questions again that they possibly ask. So some questions can be a bit harder. For example, if God exists, then why is there suffering? We don't really know. Let's see, what other kind of questions are there? I have to be honest, at the moment, I'm just thinking for myself what kind of questions there are. Because you see, with those questions, you always find that there are too many. There are always more questions than answers. I hope you guys had a great class. I hope that you can understand more about the difference between direct and indirect questions. Remember, direct questions say what they have to say, straightforward. The indirect questions are more polite and they take more time. So I hope it was very helpful for you. I hope you learned a lot. I'm very enthusiastic about your comments. Thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow again. I'm very happy to be there tomorrow. And I wish you all the best for tonight. And please keep up your questions because they make our world more beautiful every day. Ciao. Take care.